Hey guys, so as I mentioned in a previous video, with the president extending the, as he put it, voluntary guidelines of social distancing till April 30th, because not only does it give enough time for a lot of stuff to come in and it's needed, as well as it lets the warmer weather, take its time, or basically take its natural course and run across the country and give each state in the country a dose of warm weather, warm spring weather, to help kind of decrease the spread of this virus. But now the big question is, if you're a fan of wrestling, where does this leave wrestling? Because apparently WWE has taped, this week's Raw, this week's SmackDown, this week's NXT, as well as this week's 205, all within the past week, along with WrestleMania. But the big question is, what happens next? Now, WWE apparently also filmed the Raw and SmackDown and NXT after Mania. As far as I know, they filmed those, the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT and 205 Live after Mania. But the question is, what's next? Because we know that those will take place on the week of the 6th, or the week after Mania. We do know that. We know that they will take place, like I said, after Mania, the week of WrestleMania. They will take place afterwards. But what happens after that? Does WWE, what I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to do this on my last break as quickly as I can, does WWE, what do they, here's the question, what do they do next? What does AEW do next? You got these voluntary guidelines issued by the government, by each state, of, hey, you can't have this many people until a certain timeline or whenever. What's the next step? Now, I know certain states have limitations, like how far they'll go. Like, because basically that's what the president means by voluntary. In other words, all the states can follow the guidelines and wait until the 30th of April to initiate the guidelines. Like I said, they can wait till April 30th to see what happens, or each state can go their own directive and say, you know what, we're okay, we're cool, we haven't had many reported cases in that long, we'll let the president know and we'll do our thing. So pretty much WWE and AEW, they're kind of up in the air right now, as well as MLW and any other independent or semi-major wrestling promotion, Impact Wrestling, you name it. They're all up in the air right now because they don't know what's next. But again, the question is, how does taping occur? What happens? How do they work around this? Now, like I said, there are limitations. I don't know how long Florida is going to keep their stuff closed down, from what I understand. Last thing I heard, it was going to be about the 9th or the 10th, maybe, of April. I'm not really sure about that. So Florida might just be the hotbed of wrestling for a while when it comes to all three companies, or all four companies to be exact. Impact, MLW, AEW, and WWE. They just might be Florida bound within the next couple of weeks. Not saying that's going to be true or anything, but right now it seems to be heading that way. Now, some other states may, within the next month, may open up, may loosen up their restrictions and say, hey, we'll still abide by the voluntary guidelines, but we're going to increase the capacity of people that could be together with each other or be around each other. So the question is, though, what other states could open up? What other states could, get past this and really get over that curve quicker than the rest. My assumption is it's going to be the warmer states, the states that get the most warmth or the most heat. Those states being like California gets it at times. You know, Kansas, I know the Midwest can get real warm quickly and fast during the spring. Florida, no doubt. Texas, no doubt. So you gotta look at what is usually the hotbeds of early warm summer-like weather. And my opinion is you look at Florida right now as being like the hotbed as it used to be in the territorial days of wrestling. And that's pretty much going to be a fact no matter what. And then you take a look at the other regions and states like California, Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, you know, parts of the Midwest that basically you know, get warmer than others during the springtime, during the spring season, especially as we go from April into May and May into June, because that's when the real warmth starts to pick up. So again, you know, it's going to be really intriguing what happens in the next few weeks, because, you know, after April 6th, after the April 6th edition of Raw, the April 8th edition of NXT, and the April 9th edition of SmackDown and 205 Live, what's next? Where does WWE go from here? Where does AEW go from here? You know, because they got a tape or film solo events as well. Are they going to just stay in Darby's place for a while? You know, Darby's Palace in Jacksonville? They may have to. But, you know, is that going to be... or what I'm trying to say is, could that change? And then you got to ask yourself, what about MLW and Impact? Are they going to have to cease operations until this is over, or are they going to find a place that's going to let them in and do some empty arena stuff while they're at it? I mean, MLW has an empty arena match going on anyway next week between Mance Warner and MJF, with the stipulation of loser leaves Major League Wrestling. So the question being, you know, is that a directive they head into as well in the future? Well, for a sec. So is that a directive they head into as well in the future until this blows over? Or do we... Let me say, is that a directive that they head into in the future, or do we, or do they cease for a bit, or they kind of put things on hold? We'll have to wait and see. But like I said, right now the April 30th deadline makes things really interesting when it comes to the world of professional wrestling, mostly WWE, AEW, MLW, Impact, and others, independent or not, independent wrestling or not independent wrestling. It's going to make things really intriguing and really interesting. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I got to get back into work, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. Stay safe.